The story unfolding today has sent shockwaves through courtrooms, newsrooms, and the entire entertainment world. A moment that many believed would bring clarity has instead sparked an entirely new wave of confusion, outrage, and escalating tension. In a dramatic turn that has already ignited nationwide debate, music mogul Diddy has reportedly issued a threat toward the presiding judge moments after she denied his request for a $50 million bond. What was expected to be a routine hearing has now exploded into a full-blown legal crisis with implications that could reshape the trajectory of the entire case. As details continue to emerge, insiders, legal analysts, and even members of Diddy's own circle are expressing deep concern about the direction the situation is heading. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. According to courtroom observers, the atmosphere was tense even before the ruling. Diddy, who arrived visibly frustrated, had placed enormous hope on the bond request as his last major opportunity to secure temporary freedom while fighting the charges that have already shattered his public image and halted nearly every branch of his professional empire. His legal team argued aggressively that the $50 million bond was justified given his stature, resources, and connections. They insisted he was neither a flight risk nor a threat. But as prosecutors laid out their objections, emphasizing a pattern of behavior, escalating accusations, and the sheer volume of evidence still being processed, the judge's tone made it increasingly clear that she was not convinced. When the final decision came down, the courtroom reportedly went silent. The judge stated firmly that the bond request was denied, citing both the severity of the allegations and the potential risks associated with granting temporary release. Witnesses claim that Diddy's expression changed instantly, shifting from shock to what some described as barely contained rage. It was in those moments, quietly but audibly enough for those closest to him to hear, that he allegedly made a threatening remark directed at the judge. Although the exact wording has not yet been publicly confirmed, the threat was serious enough that courtroom security immediately tightened and court officials documented it as part of the official record. The judge herself has not made a public statement, but her staff has reportedly been placed under enhanced security protocols. Sources inside the courthouse say that measures were enacted within minutes of the altercation, including increased monitoring and reinforced restrictions surrounding Diddy's communications. Legal experts say that if the threat is corroborated, it could add an entirely new layer of charges on top of the case he is already facing. Some analysts believe this could be one of the most damaging moments yet for the embattled producer, who has spent months struggling to contain the fallout from lawsuits, federal investigations, and a public narrative that grows darker with each passing week. The aftermath of the threat did not end at the courtroom doors. Within hours, social media erupted with reactions ranging from disbelief to harsh condemnation. Longtime supporters expressed shock, unable to reconcile the man they admired with the behavior being described. Critics, however, claimed that the outburst fit a larger pattern they believe has existed behind the scenes for years. Multiple trending tags appeared across platforms, many calling for accountability and demanding that the justice system take the threat seriously. Others suggested that this moment should finally signal to the industry that power and wealth cannot shield anyone from consequences. Inside Diddy's camp, the mood appears to be chaotic. Sources close to his legal team say they were blindsided by the outburst, warning that it could severely complicate their ongoing strategy. One insider described the situation as spiraling faster than they could control, adding that every attempt to stabilize public perception is being overshadowed by new controversies emerging almost daily. Another source claimed that the threat to the judge has caused deep internal concern, prompting discussions about reassessing their approach and preparing for the possibility of even tougher restrictions being imposed. Prosecution attorneys have not released an official statement regarding the threat, but several legal commentators say the incident will almost certainly be used as evidence of instability or potential danger. They also point out that judges rarely reverse decisions in high-profile cases involving significant public interest, especially when the defendant behaves unpredictably. The denial of the $50 million bond is seen as a strong indication that the court intends to maintain strict control over the case, preventing any potential interference or undue influence. Meanwhile, the public conversation has expanded beyond just the courtroom events. Activists, commentators, and even celebrities are weighing in, with many arguing that the entertainment industry must stop enabling harmful behavior. Others are cautioning against rushing to judgment before all facts are confirmed. Still, the consensus across most platforms is that this incident marks a turning point, pushing the case into far more dangerous and unpredictable territory. Behind the scenes, court security has reportedly increased at Diddy's detention location as well. Officials are said to be monitoring him closely, not only because of the threat but because emotions are running high and tensions are expected to escalate as the case progresses. Some experts believe that a psychological evaluation may be requested if his behavior continues to raise concerns, though such decisions typically depend on both legal strategy and judicial discretion. Family members of the accused have not spoken publicly, but individuals close to them indicate that they are deeply distressed. Between the mounting legal pressure and the growing public scrutiny, the stress has taken a visible toll. Friends of the family say that the denial of bond was devastating, as many had held on to hope that he would be released while the case continued. But with the additional complication of the alleged threat, that hope has now sharply diminished. As investigators continue their work, more information is expected to surface about the circumstances surrounding the courtroom incident. Some reports suggest there may be audio recordings or written notes documenting what was said. Others believe that witness testimony from those directly involved could become a critical part of the evidence introduced in future hearings. If the threat is officially verified, it would likely be added to the list of factors the court considers in determining how the rest of the trial will proceed. Observers note that it is highly unusual for a defendant in such a high-profile case to openly confront or threaten a judge. Doing so not only undermines legal strategy but also signals a level of desperation that worries both supporters and critics alike. Many legal experts are now discussing the potential long-term implications, suggesting that Diddy may face an increasingly uphill battle as prosecutors leverage this incident to portray him as volatile and potentially dangerous. The entertainment industry is watching closely. Executives, artists, and collaborators who once associated closely with Diddy have been distancing themselves for months, but this newest